In 2025, a 24-year-old woman began losing her vision, not from diabetes, not from a tumor, not from anything her doctors could find. She was doing everything right, and yet something in her kitchen was quietly building pressure inside her skull, until that pressure became dangerously high. This is what happens when healthy turns toxic. Amelia had spent years feeling like something was off. She was in her early 20s, a marketing consultant, with years of fatigue and brain fog no doctor could explain. So she decided to take control. She rebuilt her diet from scratch. Carrot juice every morning, sweet potatoes, spinach smoothies, grass-fed beef liver capsules, cod liver oil for brain health, a high-potency multivitamin to fill any nutritional gaps. She tracked everything, hit her targets every day. For 3 months it worked. Clearer skin, real energy. Her friends noticed. She finally felt like she'd figured something out. Then the headaches started. It was a dull pressure behind the eyes. She blamed screen time. Then came morning nausea. She blamed coffee. Then something she couldn't explain away. Whenever she bent down to pick something up, she heard it. A whooshing sound, rhythmic, like her own pulse echoing inside her skull. But she felt healthy. Her diet was perfect, so she pushed through it. By month 6, the headaches were daily. Bright lights felt harsh. Her vision blurred at the edges when she was tired. One afternoon on a call, her screen seemed to dim, just for a second, like someone turned the brightness down on the world. It came back. She didn't mention it to anyone. She went to see her doctor. Her vitals and blood pressure were normal. There were no neurological flags. The doctor thought it was likely migraines. She needed more hydration. She needed to reduce stress. She left feeling relieved. It was the last time she would. 2 weeks later, she started missing things at the edges. Not blurry, not flashing, just missing. A cup she'd knock over without seeing it. A car she hadn't noticed in her periphery. The kind of loss you explain away, until you can't. Here's what made this case unsettling for her doctors. There was no tumor, no stroke, no infection. Brain scans were completely clear, and yet the pressure inside her skull had been climbing for months, unnoticed, slowly, silently, compressing the nerves responsible for her sight. The cause wasn't in her brain. It was sitting on her kitchen counter. In the emergency room, a doctor examined the back of her eyes. What they found changed everything. Her optic discs were swollen. That only happens when pressure inside the skull becomes dangerously high. Her CT scan was clear. Her MRI showed no mass, no bleeding, nothing. So they kept searching. A lumbar puncture, a needle into the base of the spine to measure the pressure of the fluid surrounding the brain directly. It was severely elevated. The skull is a sealed space. Brain tissue, blood, cerebrospinal fluid, the clear liquid that cushions and bathes the brain. In a healthy system, all three remain in dynamic balance. If one rises, the others must give way. The optic nerves aren't just cables running to the eye. They're direct extensions of brain tissue, surrounded by a sheath filled with that same pressurized fluid. When pressure rises, the nerves compress. Sustained compression kills nerve fibers, and nerve fibers, once dead, don't come back. She had none of the typical risk factors, so they dug deeper. Routine blood work showed something subtle. Her liver enzymes were mildly elevated, easy to dismiss. Then came the vitamin panel. Her vitamin A level was critically high. That's when they asked about her supplements. Beef liver capsules, cod liver oil, high-potency multivitamin, carrot juice every morning, sweet potatoes most nights, each one individually unremarkable. Together, every day, for 8 months. A slow accumulation her body had no natural mechanism to stop. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. Unlike vitamin C, it doesn't flush out through urine. It stores, primarily in the liver, month after month, quietly building. And one of the documented consequences of chronic vitamin A toxicity? Increased pressure inside the skull. Her healthy routine had been slowly poisoning her, one careful meal at a time. Here's where it gets darker. Even after the diagnosis, stopping the supplements doesn't reverse what's already happened. Vitamin A had been building in her tissues for months. It does not clear quickly. And the pressure that had been compressing her optic nerves, that damage was already done. The question was no longer what caused this. It was, how much vision can we save? She stopped all supplements immediately. She was started on medication to reduce the cerebrospinal fluid pressure, buying her nervous system time to decompress. Over the following weeks, the headaches lifted, the whooshing sound faded, the pressure began to fall. But visual field testing told a sobering story: small, permanent blind spots, regions where nerve fibers had already died during the months she'd pushed through the warning signs. The full chain looked like this. Chronic vitamin A excess overwhelmed her liver's storage capacity. Circulating levels disrupted the pressure dynamics of cerebrospinal fluid. Pressure rose inside her sealed skull. Her optic nerves compressed. Axons died. There was no tumor, no trauma, no toxin anyone would normally recognize as dangerous. Just nutrients stacked too high for too long. Vitamin A is essential. Without it, the visual system doesn't function properly. It's required to produce the photopigments that allow you to see in low light. It's not a villain. But fat-soluble vitamins don't behave like water-soluble ones. There's no overflow valve. The body holds on to it all, and the margin between beneficial and harmful is much narrower than most people assume. The danger here wasn't ignorance. Amelia wasn't reckless. She was thorough, consistent, and genuinely trying to get healthier. The danger was the assumption that more of something good must stay good. Amelia didn't lose her sight, but she carries permanent blind spots, small gaps in her visual field that will always be there, artifacts of the months her body was trying to warn her, when she had every reason not to listen. Health isn't about optimizing every input. Sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't what you're missing. It's what you don't realize you're accumulating. Amelia didn't ignore her health. She optimized it until it broke something her body couldn't repair. Because sometimes the body doesn't fail from neglect. It fails from too much of something that was never supposed to be dangerous. How many of us are stacking supplements right now, assuming that because each one is healthy, all of them together must be fine? Drop your answer below. If this made you think, hit like, and subscribe if you want the full biological story behind cases like this one. See you in the next one.